All right, Yevamos, Daf, hey. So we're still on a mission here, right? We had a Mishnah that I explained there are 15 people who are patur from Yibum. These are the 15 ervas. And we learned that even though Yibum is a mitzvah saseh, but because there's a lo saseh of erva, which is very strong, so that's why you are patur from Yibum. So the question is, the Mishnah says, well, if not for the pasuk of Aleha, if we didn't learn that Yibum is exempt by these 15 people, then I would think that Yibum is required, even in the event that you're related to the to the deceased in some way. So the question becomes, well, where does that concept, who learns that concept? Where do we understand that concept of aseh, of Yibum, docha los aseh? So yesterday's daf, you remember, we went in depth about Tana Debei, Rabbi Yishmael, and we explained that he learns it out from Shatnez, and so we were able to successfully conclude that a normal case of aseh pushes off a los aseh by Shatnez. Today we say, okay, fine, that's Tana Debei Rabbi Yishmael. What about the Rabbanan, who are the alternative opinion? So first we try and bring up different ideas throughout Shas. We say, okay, maybe the Mitzorah, because we know that a Mitzorah has to shave his head and his beard. So we know that shaving the corners of your head is asur, concept of payas. That's where payas comes from. And because you are doing an aseh of shaving your head, in order to become pure after being a mitzorah, it's docha the los aseh of shaving your head. We end up rejecting that. Then we try and say mitzorah also maybe shaving your beard, same idea. The third thing we try to say is that if you're a mitzorah and a nazir, meaning you have tzaras in your body, basically those are two, like a nazir, you're not supposed to shave your anything, right? You swear that you're not supposed to, but then you're a mitzorah, so what are you supposed to do? If you don't shave, you can never be pure of being a mitzorah. If you do shave, then you violate your nazirus, so what are you supposed to do here? So these are all three sort of suggestions that are brought up to try and explain that maybe how we're going to learn out the concept of aseh, docha, los aseh. However, we end up rejecting all three because we say they're too specific. Each of these has to do with very individual cases, and we're trying to find something that's a blanket statement that we can apply this concept across the board. So no good. We end up going back to the same source that Tana Debei Rabbi Yishmael bring up, and that's tzitzis and shatnez. But we have a question because the Rabbanan originally said that we learn that we need both psukim, Gedilim Taselcha and Lo Sova Shatnez. Both of them teach us something important. So the Rabbanan end up saying, now we can learn from the pasuk in Shatnez. We learn out all the dinim, so that there is plenty of room to also learn out aseh, docha, los aseh, and that's what we end up concluding. So both Tana Debei Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbanan both learn aseh, docha, los aseh from the same place, from Shatnez. Great, but in order to really prove our Mishnah, we have to prove not just that an aseh pushes off a los aseh, but we need to prove that an aseh pushes off a strong los aseh. This isn't just any average los aseh. This is erva. So you can't just bring a normal case of an aseh. It's got to be something really powerful. And so we begin. First, we try and bring up this concept of doing bris milah on Shabbos. The aseh of doing a bris pushes off Shabbos, which is a strong. If you violate Shabbos, you get skila. We try to say bring karm. Well, we say that's rejected because bris is really powerful, meaning the aseh is super strong. So maybe you need a super strong aseh to push off a super strong los aseh. Doesn't work. Then we say, I think there are 13 brisos for Shabbos. That's why. For bris, it says bris 13 times in the Torah. That means it's pretty legit. Then we try to say, what about bringing Karm Pesach? But maybe that's different because if you don't bring Karm Pesach, you also get kares. So that's another super strong aseh. We try to bring this idea. First we say Mila, then we say Pesach, then we say maybe bring the Karban Tamid, because that's something you also do on Shabbos. Maybe it's Aseh, Docha, Los Aseh. So no, because the Karban Tamid has something called, basically, Tamidus, you have to bring it every day. So maybe that is a little bit different. Then we try to say maybe a combination of the two, Mila and Pesach, Mila and Tamid. The Gemara basically rejects each of those combinations. What about all three? Maybe we can learn Aseh, Docha, Los Aseh sheish bakaris by all three. We end up saying no, because all three of these mitzvahs were given before Matan Torah, so that can't be a blanket statement that applies to mitzvahs after Matan Torah. We end up concluding pretty much that basically we're left up with a question. So because we're not really able to prove that aseh docha los aseh shabakares, so now we're going to kind of take a step back and ask ourselves, okay, fine. So if we don't learn it from the psukim, then how can you explain to me why I need a pasuk to teach me that aseh of yibam does not docha los aseh? That's, why would I think any different? And that's going to be the topic of tomorrow's daf. Have a great day.